Okay, more breathing tips. So, what we do in our Aikido practice is we learn how to take essentially a meditative state into an active state. Um, Meditations, I've done all sorts of meditations, Zen, Transcendental, etc. The one that I found that most worked for me was Silva method. That's just an active meditation. Um, Other meditations, you would concentrate on a mantra, for instance, or imagery of you're sitting in the bottom of a pond, and any thoughts become bubbles that rise to the surface, that sort of thing. It's all good, and just like anything, whatever works for you is what works for you. Okay? It's just good to have an open mind with anything and consider the possibilities, the advantages of it. Just like our techniques, be open to other expressions. It might not be for you, but you want to keep an open mind so you don't miss something that would be good for you. So essentially what we're learning to do is how to take that meditative state into movement, so essentially meditation and movement. And, as Kipling said, how to keep our heads when all else are losing theirs, to paraphrase it. So once you've practiced, like for instance, sitting like we were doing, practicing your breathing, to be conscious of where the breath is going, how your body relaxes, and where the breath comes out from, then take it to a standing, okay? So just to stand anywhere. In fact, I'd recommend if you can stand someplace outside, park or backyard or something like that, or a balcony, and just to stand. Then practice that same sort of relaxation, breathing techniques. Okay? Just to be conscious of your standing and how your breath is affecting your body. Take note that you won't be perfectly still. There's going to be little adjustments in your feet because you're breathing in, you're breathing out. There's rebalancing having to go on, subtleties in the soles of your feet. So be conscious of that, allow that to happen. And those kind of movements, that goes right through your body. Your whole body is making little micro adjustments to keep you standing. Through all your joints and muscles, tendons, cartilage, everything is involved. Then once you're comfortable with being there when you're standing, then start to open up your consciousness. So you've been conscious of your internal and your body, and then you start to open up your consciousness to start to hear and feel and expand. Okay? So this kind of concept is what we're doing in our breathing forms as well. Okay? We're getting in touch with ourselves, how we connect to the earth, the ground that allows us to walk around, and how we connect to the space and the universe around. For what it's worth, I mentioned in the daily dose, if you want to be amazed, just take a look up into the sky, day or night, and just try to fathom where that ends. We can't get there. We can't imagine that. And the way science is going with the way electron microscopes are finding new worlds, they just keep getting smaller and smaller to where it gets to where they see huge spaces. Essentially, it's like a universe in each of our cells. So quite literally, we can be the center of the universe. There's much more going on than we'll ever know in our corporal bodies and minds, although we're curious and we try to find it out. But there's a reality there that we can accept, that we are between heaven and earth. And our breath and our body allow us to have a place of meeting of both of those. Okay? So once you're standing and you've done all this, you start to expand and you sense everything that's going on in your place in the universe. Then take that into essentially a stance, if you want to relate it to our practice. Go into Hamni. Settle yourself once again. Okay? Practice your 3-finger technique if you want to settle yourself. Okay? After you've done that, then I would recommend starting to move. And a lot of Zen meditations, Buddhist meditations, they have slow walking, meditative walking, where it's just like half a step, okay, to be very conscious of it, okay, and then a fuller step. But not just to walk and be mindful of how you're meeting the ground. Okay? One of the things that can get you there is being a good stalker. I don't mean what you normally think, but like a hunter stalker, if you want to not to think of it in terms of having to kill another animal, but in terms of wanting to sneak up to be able to be closer to that animal, photograph it or whatever, to take part in its reality. You'd have to learn how to be stealthy and move quietly and mindful. Okay? How your foot is being placed into the grass or the brush, how your body is moving. Okay? So very good practice for mindfulness and an appreciation of your body and learning about your body. Okay? If you happen to be if you're going into something that's going to require a lot of exertion, one of the things we used to do with climbing, high altitude climbing, is before we even started out, we got our packs all set, we're starting to go up. For instance, Mount Rainier, you're going to head up the trails and then go up through the glaciers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's all uphill, all arduous, and for what we would do, we're carrying 60, 70, 80-pound packs, depending on, what we're going to be doing and how long we'd be gone. So you could do compression breathing, where essentially you're just keeping it in your lungs, pressing it out of your lungs into your bloodstream to get fuel to the furnace, as they would say, before your activity. So it'd be like this. To get maximum amount of air into your lungs, pressure, using compression pressure to press your lungs, so you press the oxygen from your lungs into the bloodstream, okay, to get you ready. And it'll give you a little bit of a buzz even. You don't need to do it much, just a little bit. Okay, that just gets things started and gets you prepared for the activity. So keep it in mind if you're going to exert yourself quickly and you have the wherewithal to do that sort of thing. Don't worry about others being around. It's your body, it's your breath, it's your comfort. Okay? So you can be comfortable when others are losing their breath then. Okay. So once you've done those sort of practices, you've practiced standing, sitting, then standing, then starting to move, then that's where you can start to bring it into the dojo. As you come into the dojo, hopefully it's a conditioned response where the dojo allows you to relax and you let your day go. Okay? You take a nice deep breath. Okay, I'm here. I can forget about things. I can de-stress, decompress. I'm just here to concentrate on my practice, enjoy the camaraderie, my fellow practitioners, the joy of interacting the way we do. Nothing like this in anything else. The way we have this type of contact with other people, human beings, that is joyful, supportive, a real connection, because you really have to connect with someone and feel where their heart is, so you can feel if they're apprehensive, especially with beginners. So you need to be settled in order to get this information optimally. Okay? So practice your breath as you come into the dojo. Then as you come into the dojo space, when you bow, let that be a conditioned response. Relax even more. Okay? Stepping on the mat, okay? Or even getting change. Each item that you're putting on, your dogi pants, your dogi jacket, your obi, each one's getting you to relax more and more. Okay? Then when you come out, you're walking towards the mat, stepping on the mat, more and more settled. So take that into each thing that you're doing, okay, so that you can take it best into the actual activity. What we're learning to do is, with all this activity, is to maintain our cool, to still be centered, especially not to panic, because it's never a good time to panic. Both panic and fear are natural reactions, but they need to be set to the side so proper action and thought can take place. Okay? So as we're moving and everything, you can start to take little places, whether it's in a pin or even take a new ukemi or doing a technique to be mindful and use your breath. Okay? So worthwhile. Always to come back to yourself, because you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help someone else. Okay? All right, that's the tip for now. More to come.